Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm an AI specialist who focuses on modern hospitality operations, and I'm really excited to be guiding you, the students of Europe Hotel School, on this part of your learning journey. Today, we're going to dig into a skill that truly separates the day-to-day managers from the real leaders in any F&B operation, and that's strategic procurement.
So let's kick things off with the one idea that should really guide every single decision you make. Procurement isn't just about ordering food. It's about building a supply chain that's tough, resilient, and delivers amazing quality. And as this quote really nails, that strength, it's built entirely on your relationships with your vendors.
All right, so here's our roadmap. We're going to cover 4 key areas. First, we'll talk about shifting our mindset away from just price. Then, we'll build a data-driven tool, a scorecard to pick the right vendors. After that, we'll get into negotiating to protect your business and your profits. And finally, we'll look at the modern tech that gives you a serious competitive edge. Let's get into it.
Okay, Section 1. This tackles what is probably the single biggest mistake people make in F&B procurement, focusing only on the price tag. The real goal here is to move from just buying stuff, a simple transaction, to building a real strategic partnership.
And you can really see the difference here. On one side, you've got the novice approach. It's all about price, 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 which honestly leads to inconsistent quality and a ton of risk. But on the other side, that's the expert leader. They're thinking about overall value and, most importantly, protecting the brand's integrity. They see a vendor as a partner in creating that guest experience, not just someone selling them a box of tomatoes.
So how do we actually do that? How do we make that shift to being more strategic? Well, we use professional tools. This next section is all about a data-driven framework that takes the guesswork out of the equation and makes sure you're choosing the right partners for all the right reasons.
The whole selection process starts way before you ever talk about money. First, as you see here, you issue a detailed RFP, a request for proposal, or an RFQ, a request for quote. Now, this isn't just a shopping list. It has to be super specific about your product specs, your volumes, your delivery needs, everything. It's only when every potential vendor has the exact same information that you can start a truly fair and balanced analysis.
In this chart, it perfectly illustrates where your focus needs to be. Just look at how much weight is given to product quality. Why? It's simple. Because that's what your guests experience. That's what protects your brand. Sure, pricing is important. Of course it is. But it's just one piece of a much, much bigger puzzle.
So let's break down what these criteria actually mean in the real world. Quality isn't just about taste. It's about getting the same great product every single time, because that's what protects your brand. Pricing isn't just the number on the invoice. It includes payment terms, which affects your hotel's cash flow. Reliability, that just means knowing your delivery will show up on time and be accurate every single time. And service is about the unexpected. What happens when you have an emergency? A true leader looks at all 4 of these pillars before making any decision.
All right, you've done your homework, you've used your scorecard, and you've picked some potential partners. Now it's time to negotiate. And look, this isn't about trying to squeeze every last penny out of a vendor. It's about crafting a smart contract that manages your risk and makes sure all those quality standards you agreed on are actually enforceable.
First thing you need is pricing stability. A fixed or indexed pricing agreement is basically your shield against a crazy volatile market. It lets you lock in your costs for key items, which protects your profit margins from any sudden price hikes. It's an absolutely fundamental strategy for keeping your budget predictable.
Next up is something that sounds simple, but is incredibly powerful for managing your money. Net 30 days. Getting good payment terms like this is so important. It's not just some boring administrative detail. It's a strategic move that optimizes your hotel's cash flow and keeps you financially flexible.
Now this clause, this is your power to enforce your standards. It gives you the clear, written, contractual right to say no and reject any products that don't meet your specs. This is how you guarantee that the amazing quality you negotiated for is what actually shows up at your door.
And here is a super simple but critical rule for managing risk. For your most important high-volume stuff, think dairy, produce, proteins, never ever rely on just one supplier. You absolutely need at least 2 approved vendors. Why? Because if one has a problem, a truck breaks down, a warehouse issue, your entire operation doesn't have to grind to a halt. It's a basic safeguard for keeping the business running.
Okay, on to our final section. We've talked about the right mindset, how to select vendors, and how to negotiate. Now let's look at the modern toolkit, the technology that's completely changing the game and letting leaders be more strategic and efficient than ever.
So as a hotel AI expert, this is an area I'm obviously really passionate about. The future of procurement, and honestly, it's already the present, is all about using specialized software and AI to automate, analyze, and just plain optimize the entire process.
I mean, these tools are absolute game changers. They can compare vendors for you in a second, automate the boring process of handling invoices, and, this is huge, track historical pricing data. This lets you spot if you're being overcharged or if you've missed out on credits, which puts money right back into your budget. It literally turns raw data into smart decisions.
So, let's just tie this all together. When you move beyond just worrying about price, when you use data-driven tools, negotiate contracts that protect you, and leverage modern tech, you elevate yourself. You stop being just a manager who handles the day-to-day, and you become a strategic leader who actively drives profitability and defends the excellence of your brand.
So I'm going to leave you with one final thought to carry with you. As you move forward in your careers, I want you to always ask yourself this one question. Are you just buying a product, or are you building a partnership? Your answer to that is going to define not just your approach, but ultimately your success as a leader in this industry. Thank you.